everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Wilson's Seahawks going up against Ryan's Falcons. With that, let's get you over to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. You are looking live at the Georgia Dome here in downtown Atlanta. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Atlanta Falcons. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Tyler Lockett now with a return. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. They come up in an offset eye. First carry for Thomas Rawls. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Here's the offense. Certainly some threats on this offense, and one of them that they target is Doug Baldwin.
Not only does he do a nice job catching the ball downfield, he's also a tremendous blocker that helps unleash the running game.
On 2nd down, Rawls muscles him off. Now, the stiff arm created some space initially, but he's taken down not long after. And here we go. We get to see the Falcons again on offense, a crew that last year scored 540 points, tied for 8th most all time. But my question is this, such a crushing Super Bowl loss in the offseason, does that set you back big time, or does that fuel and feed you momentum-wise going forward?
It should fuel and feed you momentum-wise going forward, partner. That's exactly how it's supposed to react, and that's what you'll see in the Falcons locker room in the entire offseason. They'll talk about finishing, unfinished business, things of that nature. But we have seen where teams have not recovered from it. Remember the Rams? They got to a Super Bowl, got beat by the Patriots, didn't get back there again. The Broncos in 2013, number one offense, number one scoring offense. They didn't get back in 2014, but they did in 2015. So you can recover from it.
And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. That's taken on the 25. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And it'll be Falcon football as they take possession. Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. Throwing now. Ryan on 1st down. It's caught. Left side. Tammy. 7 yards. The pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one. On 2nd down, Ryan. And that'll be incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. And it's 3rd and short. Here's the offense, and we talk about the tight end, Jacob Tammy. A lot of people thought of him as simply a safety valve receiver. He can be a primary receiver. Jacob Tammy shows better athleticism than what people expect.
Ryan now to throw on 3rd down. And he's got Sanu. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
Well, let's just go walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Michael Bennett's versatility, being able to play any position along the defensive front, allows him to make those types of plays. He finds good matchups and gets into the offensive backfield.
And there it works for a tackle for loss. So the D-line's going to spread out. Here's Ryan. Tammy's got it. Complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Let's see what the defense dials up here. 3rd and 4. Now it's Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
I know that's their first connection in this game, but you and I both know that Julio Jones is without a doubt his quarterback's favorite target.
Oh, yeah, Matt Ryan loves this guy, and who wouldn't?
Yeah, and the reason that he's that is because of his dependability. And quarterbacks have to have that from their receivers, meaning they know where they're going to be when they're running certain routes. They don't break them on them. They don't change them up and do their own freelance stuff and put their quarterbacks in bad situations. Matt Ryan has ultimate trust in Julio Jones.
The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
When you say the name Richard Sherman, you get a wide variety of reactions. All I know is that when I watch him play, very few false steps, an excellent understanding of what offenses are trying to do.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Shedd. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21. Earlier, partner, when discussing Russell Wilson, you said you think he's best when Seattle is running back centric. Is Thomas Rawls the centerpiece going forward there?
I think so because of what he did 2 seasons ago before he got hurt. Because he runs that offense the way they want it run.
They come out here in the eye. On 2nd down, Wilson. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. They'll give him a yard on the play, and just like that, it's 3rd down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot. Because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. He's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. They'll need to get the play off quickly. Now Wilson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. Taking on the midfield logo. Just 21 yards on the punt there. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. So out come the Falcons now. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better. And when you watch Devontae Freeman run the football, you can almost close your eyes and hear him running the football, can't you? Because people just scatter. I mean, you know, when he goes through a pile, it moves in a positive direction for him. I just love how hard he plays the game.
1,000-yard season. He had 11 touchdowns last year. In March, 25 years old. So he's kind of hitting that sweet spot for a running back, isn't he?
He really is. I still remember the evaluation of him coming out of college. He does everything well, but you weren't sure he had a dominant trait. Wrong about that. He's dominant just about everything he does, and I think that he's going to continue to elevate his game and seek a third Pro Bowl in 2017.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Ryan. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying it is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air.
And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. All right, Charles, as a former defensive back, how disheartening to actually catch it but just not be able to stay in bounds there defensively.
Well, extremely, because you know the rap against us defenders is that we're frustrated offensive guys who can't catch. And he caught it. Just couldn't get his feet down in bounds. It's that second part that finished off the play for him.
And we were scoreless up until this point in the second quarter. Now we finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. First quarter, no points at all. Now we got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along, or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
The drive begins with a run by Rawls. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? And almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Now Wilson on 2nd down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. So here we go, a 3rd down after the 2nd down pass completion. On 3rd down, Wilson. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
3rd down is the down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had a field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
A little lull in the action here to go over an offseason storyline that's kind of interesting. L.A. a couple years ago, they have no teams, and now they're going to have 2 with the move from San Diego to L.A. What does that mean for the league and for the Chargers?
It seems like an easier transition, doesn't it, than St. Louis when they moved back to Los Angeles.
Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman. And he'll take it all the way out near the 30-yard line.
When we talk about the best corners in the league, we're usually saying shutdown corners, guys you can't complete passes against. Richard Sherman fits that definition to a T. The best part of his game, no wasted moves. He studies the opponent so well, hard to get a pass on Richard Sherman.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They start on the ground with Rolls. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
That play almost seemed like a baseball play. See ball, hit ball. But in this case, see guy with ball, tackle guy with ball.
On second down, here's Wilson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. The 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Thomas Rolls. 72 yards. And the Seahawks have taken the lead.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Marty looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And this is Gabriel on the catch. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. And quickly, they get to the line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because...
It got his man complete. That goes for a gain of 31. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. Over 1,400 yards last year for Jones. Just 6 touchdowns, but, you know, of course he had the big 300-yard game. However, when he was blanketed with coverage, he always opens things up for other guys, doesn't he?
He does, and that's what's benefited Atlanta's offense. Other guys were able to step up. In 2016, Mohamed Sanu stepped up and had his best year as a pro. Austin Hooper, as a young tight end, really developed down the stretch. And Taylor Gabriel, who had come over as a free agent from Cleveland, he really flourished, actually led the team in touchdown catches. But there's only one Julio Jones, and you want to get the ball to him as much as possible.
And now a first down following that long gain. To throw again is Ryan. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
Again, Ryan. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
From the 2-yard line yet again. Let's see what they can do on 3rd and goal. They'll look to run with Freeman. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. They'll run it. Freeman. And he gets it into the end zone with no time left in the second quarter as they take the lead. So instead of trailing into the lockers, they grab the lead with the clock reading all zeros before intermission.
I would love to go into the locker room with them because right now they're riding a nice wave, aren't they? They're feeling good about themselves. But I know the coach is going to be talking to them about calming down, taking it easy. We've got a whole second half, but use the way we finished the first one to start the second.
Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. That incompletion, Charles, gives me a chance to put you on the clock real quick. NFC teams last year that did not make the playoffs that might make a push this coming year.
Well, 3 that come to mind right away that we thought were going to be in 2016. Minnesota, remember the start they got off to before that didn't work out so well for them. Arizona, we thought they were a lock to be in the playoffs. In fact, many of us called them Super Bowl contenders. And Carolina, the defending NFC champs going into last season, they didn't make it. So I think that all 3 could return to former glory. I'm going to give you one way off the pace here. You ready?
Let's go.
The Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh.
They get the young quarterback going, and that defense continues to live up to expectations. They can make a real strong push in the West.
They've got the D. You're right. They just need the O. They go play action here on first down. He's got a man. Complete. And they get 28 yards on that one. And that leads to an Atlanta first down.
I really don't think that Julio Jones could be happier right now. Plenty of catch opportunities in this game. He's converted them, and his team's winning.
And Matt Ryan's happy, too, to have Julio Jones on the other side of these.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times we talk about breaking teams down, and oftentimes just through a running game. These 2, they can break a team down through the air.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. They come out here in the eye. Sanu, the man in motion left. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. So third down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. On third down, Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. Offense needs something here on second down. It is second and long. They'll come out in the pistol, and they're going to go soft on the corners. On second down, Ryan. Deep drop. And that will be caught, but out of bounds. Out of bounds, ruled incomplete here. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. 3rd and long, it's Ryan. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. He was trying to hit Taylor Gabriel that time, and that'll bring up a 4th down. So on 4th down, off goes Matt Ryan, and on is another Matt Bryant. He made his first attempt, this from 45. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, close game, second half. You obviously hate to leave 3 out on the field.
Especially in a game like this when you know points are hard to come by. That was one of their best opportunities so far, and they come away with nothing.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll try to get the running game going with Rawls. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
They come up in an offset eye. They stay on the ground. Rawls again. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And this defense looks for one more stop here on 3rd after the run. 3rd and 2. Now Wilson. And he's got Lockett. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And he hits Jermaine Kearse. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Back now in Atlanta. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Another run, but this time it's Rawls. Oh, he's got some breathing room. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
You got to feel a little bit for the defense there. They've done a terrific job all day long holding this guy in check. But that might have been the run to break things out for him, maybe turn things around. Now he's going to have some confidence, and maybe he'll get to his normal yardage.
In motion left, Kearse. Back to the ground on 1st. Again, it's Rawls. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. And they'll give it to him here. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on third. Play clock winding down. On third down, Wilson. This will be caught just inside the 10. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And Hauschka's kick is good. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the fourth quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
It takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
And at this stage in the game, every play is magnified here as we get down to the nitty-gritty. And now they'll try the end around. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. Trying to lay one up deep. And this is going to be intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl quarterback, Richard Sherman. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
First down, this is Rawls. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Throwing now is Wilson. And he fires one incomplete. He was looking for Thomas Rawls there. And it's third down. Defense looking to hold serve one last time here on 3rd and 7. Now Wilson. And that is incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And it brings up 4th down.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
and they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. They get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And it's a gain of 17 that time. And it'll be first down Atlanta.
Everything about that play was beautiful. A great corner route where the receiver worked the defensive back inside and then broke back to the outside to the corner. But how about the throw by the quarterback? Anticipation on the break from inside to outside. He threw the football. As the receiver turned around, the ball greeted him.
Here's Ryan. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets...
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman in the final minute, and the Falcons have broken our tie.
Well, any thoughts about overtime have ended at this juncture? That touchdown puts them up 6. I would imagine they'll kick the extra point now and rely on their defense.
Yeah, rely on their defense. So a little bit of time left on the clock here in the fourth, but they got to feel good now. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. One possession game, time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. Back to throw. The grab made by Kearse over the middle. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong...
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. He'll look to throw. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
They'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
So down 6, and they know they need this one on 4th down. Graham slotted out to the left. Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. He's going to let it fly. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Robert Alford. And that is going to seal this victory as time runs out. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Falcons here as we say so long from Atlanta.